started. No, I'm not gonna shout. Hello. How's everybody doing? How's things? How's life in the universe? How has your week been? I apologize for the noise. I have air conditioning on. It's too fucking hot in here. I also have a bit of a cold, so I also doubly apologize for that. But yeah, how is everybody doing? How's things? How's life? How's the universe? How's your week been? Hello, John, you're still at work, but if you are here, hello, how you doing? How's things? Um, yeah, how is everybody else doing? Um, close Thunderbird, because otherwise you lot are gonna get a lot of very annoying beeps. There we go. Right. Oh, Blasto, hello. How you doing? Fine, you? Yeah, sure. uh, I haven't been fine since I was a child, but let's go with it, sure. uh, I'm finally putting my my open source latency testing tool, which is currently entangled in my daily medication. This thing, to use in a video properly. It's not a just straight self promotion video. Because I bought one of the cheapest wireless gaming mice on Amazon. It was Amazon's choice, in fact. This brand that you will all definitely have heard of. With this absolute quality aesthetic. Yeah, yeah, it's about as good as you think it is for £13.69. I also have my G703 here. For comparison, because I've been doing some latency testing as part of the standard review of that mouse as well. It's not really a standard review because it's a bit of a weird mouse, bit of an angle on it, but yeah, I think that will be next Friday. I think, if I remember rightly. But yeah, hello Simon S63 Tech. How you doing, man? How's things? Did you get a resin printer? I seem to remember us talking about that. This isn't some subtle push to make you get a resin printer if you haven't already bought one. I just remembered that we had that conversation and thought I would mention it. um, yeah. Oh, my I got a bit of a cold, so my nose is it's congealing as we speak. I should probably get my I won't say what I call this, but yeah. I'm laid up in bed feeling ill. No, I haven't yet. I'm almost that. um, yeah, fair. I same bug. I obviously I hope you recover quickly and get back to things. But yeah, no, fair. I remembered we had that conversation and thought I would ask. I have actually I don't use my resin printer, my Elegoo Mars, too much. It's more of a like a burst kind of thing. Like I remember that I have a printer and I have enough time and I like find a use case to print, and then I'll go and print, several things, and then I'll get bored of printing stuff, and then take a break and then go back to it. Um, the most recent thing I printed was an adapter for my friend's like circular saw to shop vac adapter, because the two diameter, the outlet from the shop vac, from the circular saw, and the hose for the shop vac aren't the same size. So I 3D printed an adapter that slides in one way, slides over the other, and it all works out. Although, unfortunately, that did delaminate a bit, so I had to use some epoxy to seal it back up again, which was a little annoying. Hello, Simon. How you doing? How's things? How has your week been? I've had a rather I suppose I had a rather unusual weekend. Because I went to the Palmer Sport Day at Bedford, which was a lot of fun. Went with some good friends and drove some very nice cars, including a Formula 3000. Day off from the shop, yeah. Nice, nice. Any reviews in the works? um, I don't think I'm under any NDAs yet, actually. Um, yeah. Hello, Wanted. How you doing? How's things? How has your week been? Um, oh, tech-wise, AMD's 7700 XT, 7800 XT came out. What do we all think of them? Obviously, I don't have one, otherwise you would have seen a video already. Um, yeah, very hot. Yes, that's why the audio quality is probably naff because I have a my air conditioning on. Just did 7700, 7800 testing this week. Damn, it took a while. Yeah, fair. I was, because I don't have the new GPUs, the video that I'm working on that I hope to have done, I'm filming my face tomorrow morning, editing it tomorrow, that I hope to have done for tomorrow evening is all about their new driver, because they have a new feature called Hyper RX. Technically, it's not really a new feature, it's just enabling multiple of their other features at once, which you couldn't otherwise do. But the new bit is Radeon Anti-Lag Plus, which is instead of just driver level tweaks, it's in-game or like game engine tweaks as well. Um, so I'm doing a video about that basically. Hello Ish, how you doing, man? How's things? Moving Target 7, hi from Uruguay. Hello, welcome. Um, Hello John, welcome technically back. Uh, how's things? I like the 7800 Ashima XT for the price. From what I've seen, it looks pretty decent. I'm a bit sad that the newer generation cards have fewer cores than the previous generation cards. And while um, there is, like, they do run faster, and I think there is some level of like IPC improvement. Essentially, it's still a bit of a shame that it has fewer cores and therefore has in some titles less performance than the last generation. I'm sure that with some driver updates and stuff that might be improved, but yeah. I keep saying going to go to some car shows, but work always seems to get in the way, or I completely miss them. Yeah, fair, fair. Um, I'm not really one for shows that much, but I have been to a few, and it's always fun to see some nice cars. More fun if you can drive them though. Hello Joe, how you doing, man? How's things? Oh, sorry, my back hurts, so I'm kind of shuffling around a bit. I'm trying to get in a comfortable enough position, which is none of them, so I'm sorry. AMD's great at improving over time, so performance become even better value. I agree. It says I just picked up a 6700 XT for cheap-ish, but hearing other people report coil wine eep. Fair. Uh, I if I had a 6700 XT in, it was for a very short period of time, so I couldn't tell you, specifically, but yeah. Seems like I might be forced to buy the 4070 in the next year and a half. Rumors about 5000 series coming late 2024 look like they might be true, so that's 2026 for 50, 60, 50, 70, I guess. Yeah. You need a sensory deprivation tank. I cannot tell you how insane I would go. Like having the hyperactive part of ADHD is already uh bad. Not having anything to do for that time, I've already lost my mind. I don't want to lose it more. Joe, I'm not bad. Daughter is in still labor currently since yesterday, so I'm on call for hospital trips. Nice. Well, I assume soon to be congratulations on another grandkid. um, and yeah, fair, nice. um, hello, Chrissy Beer. Hello, Luca. Hello, Luca. How you guys doing? My name is Andres. Two. Nice. I probably said that wrong, but nice. Hello. If I want to play Starfield at more than 15 FPS. Yeah, fair. I don't have Starfield yet. I don't have Game Pass. It looks kind of interesting. I don't know that I'm willing to sink as many hours into it as you need to sink into it to really enjoy it. But yeah, fair. Yep, grandchild number two, and I'm only 35. Both from my stepdaughters who are 18 and 20. Before people wonder, nice, good. I'm glad that that's the right order. Full of forward space. All things considered, looks fun. Yeah, I like. I think GTA is the only game that I've really sunk that many hours into. Um, and that was when I was a teenager with a lot more time and a lot less health problems and businesses to run. um, so yeah. Um, yeah. Um, this is what I was up to at the weekend. um, that and seven other cars. Well, six if you don't count the go kart. Um, it's at the Palmer Sport Day. It's fantastic. It's insanely expensive, but it's really worth it if you like driving cars and you're in the UK ideally. Definitely recommend it if you can find the 1,200 or 1,300 pounds it costs to go. Yeah. Sadly, no, there won't be a video on At the Wheel. I I wanted to enjoy my time as much as possible and not have to focus on making content. And also, they don't let you use your own cameras in cars and stuff. So, yeah. Uh, and it looked awesome. How is it getting used to the acceleration and pace of the thing? It's like a different world, isn't it? Well, the Formula 3000 and to a lesser extent the JPLM car were very much just big go-karts. There's a bit more, you have to be a bit more careful in oversteering them, etc. But they really felt like big go-karts. They're insanely light. It was about 250 or so brake horsepower to the rear wheels, with flappy paddle gearbox, and it's weird because I wasn't expecting to make use of the aero, because it has a front and rear wing that pushes the car down, especially at speed, and I wasn't expecting that to make a difference, but it did. Like, I legitimately was going through corners faster than I was in the JPLM car, despite the JPLM car being A, having an instructor in it who was telling me what to do, and B, was very much the same chassis, the same engine, the same gearbox, just with a sort of different frame, different body basically. Um, so yeah, ironically, I had a harder time driving the BMW M4 GTP. One because in more recent BMWs, their throttle pedal is just a plastic paddle that flips around, and the spring that's under it is insanely weak. And so I couldn't feel my foot on the accelerator, so I didn't know if I was putting my foot down with 500 horsepower to the rear wheels or if I was completely off. I had no idea. Happily, I uh, caught every slide, which I'm very happy about. Um, and I got it round in one piece in that case. But yeah, that was the Formula 3000 was remarkably easy for me to drive. I kind of got the hang of it quite quickly and was able to start pushing it a bit. We only got like 15 minutes in each car kind of thing, so it's not exactly, we didn't have the entire day to spend to really hone our performances in, but yeah, definitely made had some fun. Yeah. Like a real life Scalextric car glued to the floor. Kinda, yeah. Except if you put your foot in too hard or you brake too hard, the back end comes around. I did actually catch a drift in the Formula 2000. It was under braking, because when you brake, especially in a car that light, the back end just, basically stops touching the ground, and so it just starts spinning. um, ba 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 ba. Uh, I don't see a comment from. Oh, right, way up there. Wow. Yes, I am. Water bottle 365. I am a Home Assistant user. What can I do for you? And thanks, Ish, for the reminder. Loans, hello, and Harry, hello. How you guys doing? I think you're buying a new mid-budget keyboard. Can you recommend me something for gaming? So to clarify, what do you consider mid-budget, right? Because everybody's like, what counts as budget varies quite a lot, and so if I say something that is about £100, because nowadays a high-end keyboard is like 200, and a cheap keyboard is more like 50. What sort of price range are you looking at? And also, like, are you looking for something that is obviously mechanical normally, but are you looking for something more mainstream that you can very easily go pick up, or do you want something a little bit more niche? Do you want something more feature rich? My go-to recommendation for kind of any keyboard really is the Wooting boards, that Wooting. Um, they make a couple different ones, but the fancy thing with them is that they use some variant of optical or magnetic switches. So instead of having a physical contact, so as you push the key down, there's a physical, it's actually a brake normally, that snaps a bit of metal away, and then it smacks back together, all this sort of stuff. Um, Whereas an analog key switch of some kind either uses a magnet or an infrared beam to sense how far down the travel you're pressing the key, and so you can do lots of cool stuff. Like you can move where the actuation point is up and down the key switch. You can do multiple actions per key press, so you can lightly touch on something to walk in game and then full down to sprint, that sort of stuff. So yeah, they have some really cool features basically, and I'm a sucker for fancy features like that. Um, so yeah, that's my general recommendation. Although the guys in the comments talking about the Keychrons, Keychron is fantastic, and I also highly recommend them. So if you're not interested in the bling features, Keychron is my second step, second recommendation, or my conventional recommendation, perhaps. I would go in the Janetta. So I did actually. You go in all 8 vehicles. And with the Janetta, that was quite fun as well. It was a good balance between a sort of conventional car that you know how to operate. There's no like there is a wing on the back, but the aero package is it's quite standard. You're mostly dealing with mechanical grip, right? Um, but it's also ridiculously light and a really good power to weight ratio, so you can throw it into the corners and there's not much body roll. So as long as you're smooth about it, it really it handles like the LM cars without driving, but it drives more like a conventional car. It's a bit easier to get your head around. The only thing was that the steering was quite twitchy. So the one time that I spun on the entire day was in the Ginetta. Admittedly, that was the very last session, and I was ridiculously tired and worn out. Racing driver excuses here. But yeah, I snapped the steering in a bit too hard, and the back end came around, and so be it. But yeah, so the Ginetta was a very good balance. I had a lot more fun in the Formula, mostly because of the way I work. I prefer to just kind of be left to, build up my confidence. Whereas when I had the instructor in the car, they always try and push you basically from lap one. But I have no idea, I'm not sort of oriented in the car. And so, you make a lot more mistakes, and then it takes me longer to build the confidence, etc. So, yeah, I had more fun in the Formula, but the Ginetta was great as well. Hello, Commander Classified. How you doing? How's things? Uh, Tasso, I'm still trying for many months for what to buy for my new PC. I'm going backwards. It's always a difficult choice. Um, as I've said plenty of times before, there's always something new on the horizon. There's always something better, just around the corner. You really just kind of need to pick something and go for it. There's always going to be some level of remorse. There's always going to be some level of you could have picked this, you could have waited another month or 6 months or 12 months or whatever. Um, but if you want a new gaming PC, it's probably better to just buy what you want and be happy about it. But obviously, that's it's my prerogative. Been a while since I've seen a 4x3. That is not a 4x3. It is a 16x9 that's tilted. It's the Gigabyte M32Q. It's just, it's not like that. It's like that. So you're only seeing kind of halfway. Yeah, I was doing some latency tool testing. I'm using it in two videos. And the monitor that's behind it is a pretty old AOC 4K 60Hz monitor. It's a TN panel. It's what I use for benchmarking because 4K is great because you can then just downsample, change the resolution. It's fine. But that has like 28 milliseconds of input latency just on the monitor. So if I'm doing anything latency sensitive and latency testing, I cannot use that monitor. So I brought that one from upstairs down to do the testing. I would have just brought the PC upstairs because I'll need to eventually, but it has been way too hot today to sit in the unair conditioned, cramped, and just infinitely hot room that is the sort of my studio. So I brought it down here to sit next to the air conditioning and do it that way. Ryzen GT, hello. One HP Stream notebook / laptop. Is it decent or trash? I mean, HP's notebooks in general are probably mid. What specs does that model have? Uh, um, Water Bottle 365 didn't come back, did he? My apologies for missing your comment. I'm intrigued at what he wants to know about Home Assistant. Actually, speaking of the smart home stuff, if you watched any of the recent videos about Matter, um, I did want to make my own Matter device, both as a potential product, but then I couldn't use the the logos, but also just for home because the Zigbee smart switches that I have suck. So this is an ESP32H2. This technically isn't released yet. It's a dev kit, a sample chip that I bought on AliExpress from Espressive. For context, this is a regular. Well, this is the ESP32S3, so this is a dual core, etc. This is the H2. This is the one that does. You could program this to do Zigbee or Thread, and it's so tiny. So this is the dev board. I was hoping to be able to make, like, basically program this to just be a switch. The problem I have is that this is so new. Like, basically no one else has one of these because I had to buy them like basically pre-release from AliExpress. From normal vendors, they're not available until the end of October. Like, you can't buy them on Mouser until the end of October, which means that there's basically no one else in the world who's done, Matter over Thread on one of those dev boards, and so there's very little sort of support in terms of how you do it. Espressive, the people who make the SP32, do have their own SDK, software development kit. The problem is, it's not very well laid out. It only works on Linux, and I tried to follow their guides for using the Windows subsystem for Linux. That didn't work. I can't get it to boot. I can't even get Espressive's IDE to launch because I've got the wrong version of Java or something, except I have the most recent version of Java. So yeah, that's been great. And I looked through the documentation, and it only mentioned Matter over Wi-Fi, not Matter over Thread, which is what I want to do. So yeah, I had other things to do than spend weeks trying to work out how to do that. So yeah, I'm probably just gonna wait for some people who are much smarter than me to make sense of, of Espressive's documentation, and make some examples public before I move forward on that one. But yeah, it's been 7 years since I bought a GPU. Waited and waited too long. GTX 1080 going for the 7800 XT. Still gonna wait. AMD usual bring down the price quite soon after launch. Yeah. I mean, Simon, the comments gone, but Simon says the what you call it? It's gone blank. As Simon says, it's probably better to just buy it and enjoy it now, especially if you're experiencing performance difficulties. You know, if you're playing Starfield, for example, you're probably experiencing performance difficulties. And so yeah, you are probably just better off buying it. You're gonna have a good time. Yeah, maybe they might drop the price a bit, but by how much and when, and I mean, it's up to you, obviously. It's your money, your life. But yeah, my general advice, as I've said already, is you should probably just buy it if you want to now. Ryzen, it's 4 gig of RAM, soldered a Celeron N4120, and Samsung, is that 64 gigs of storage? Oh geez, ooh, that's soon to be e-waste. I assume it's a Chromebook or something. Like, yeah, I mean, if it's a Chromebook, that's probably fine. I mean, this dude run Chrome. But yeah, yeah. I'm still a tad undecided on the whole Temu thing I discussed in the Discord last night. Those who haven't joined should join. Good plug. Tempted to do the reviews just on the products, but not sure. Like I said, personally, I'm normally pretty willing to review stuff. There is a small list of companies and generally products that I wouldn't review on kind of ethical reasons, but uh, reviews themselves, because they are inherently impartial and you can say whatever you want in them basically, as long as it's not outright defamatory to the company. um you have pretty good standing in that regard. um I I would like I'm pretty happy to review stuff, because even if the company is let's say ethically questionable, that's something that you can bring up in the review. You can say, your conclusion can be this product is well priced, it's well suited to its purpose, but the company has a history of using slave labor and whatever, and therefore I cannot in good conscience recommend it. Uh, you can still give the product a fair review while still also sort of coming to the conclusion that it's not worth selling your soul for. Whereas anything that's sponsored, you obviously don't have that say, and so yeah. I bought my 4080 on their release at 2500. Now they're 1750, but who knew they would drop that much in Australia after 6 months? Yeah, I mean, it's always, you can always hedge your bets, can't you? You can always sort of speculate on the market, as it were. But you're better off just buying the thing and enjoying it. If performance is slowing in modern titles, can't one just get a smaller monitor and the performance improves? Fast forward, fire. um, I nearly bought one of handheld emulators from Temu. Looked like an old Nintendo handheld. Apparently, they're fairly decent. I mean, that's fair. As I also said in the Discord, there is no ethical consumption under capitalism. You cannot, the individual cannot vote with their wallet out of, you know, the various disasters we are either in or heading for. Um, so, obviously, in an ideal world, if we could all collectively say no, we're not gonna, buy from people who, use slave labor, for example, that would be great. That's not really possible, though, sadly. Um, and so, you buying the thing, if it's a good product, at the right price, it's hard to argue when everyone else is still some level of, um, scummy. Just scooped a 7800X 3D. Do you have any knowledge on how to address the AMD Expo slugging overall post boot time down to somewhat being usable? Don't mind if you, long story short. Jaren, I'm afraid to say that I've never been sampled any X3D chips. Anything that I would know would just be from public information that I'm sure you have probably looked up more than I have. I'm afraid I really can't give you much advice on that one. But I wish you all the best in finding that one out. Trying to fix bugs, and especially, or work around bugs, and especially AMD BIOSes. Always fun. I feel like I'm in a position to not be picky, having only just started back up. The products are still products and worthy of review. It's a good call explaining thoughts at the end. The issue with Temu is their business plan is literally been to undercut and dominate the market, which I assume then means they'll raise the prices later, as is as is standard. But yes, yeah, that's makes sense. No worries, Joe. Um, Wish you all the best, and best of luck. Telesto, it's been 8 years since I got a new PC. Last week, I had to remove my GTX 980 Ti because it was crashing my PC. Then it's really time for you to buy some new stuff, man. Yeah. Um, I feel projectless. I have a project to work on, but I'd like something smallish and new. Um, I mean, if you want to work out how to do matter over over thread for me, that'd be great. I don't think that's a small project. Hello, Essentialist. How you doing, man? How's things? I have three 4080s on the shelf for future testing, three 4090s all supplied as review samples, as well as a few others, but they're for future reference. Fair. I think I had. Technically, I've had two 4090s in, but they've both been short-ish term loans. I don't have any. That's one of the reasons why I don't. Even if I get any GPUs in, I don't do full-on reviews of them. One, because I can't sit still long enough to benchmark them all, and two, because I don't have very many GPUs at all. Certainly, very few to keep, and so I don't have useful comparative data. Maybe I have one card that I can compare to. So when I had the 4070 Ti in, I had a 3070 Ti, and so I could do that comparison. But I didn't have a 4070 and a 4080 and the AMD equivalents, etc. To be able to do a proper review and comparison between them. So yeah. Can we crowdfund your 4090 Ti? I mean, if Nvidia ever comes out with one, and you want to, please do. Otherwise, yeah. I worked with large YouTube channels worldwide, so that helps. Yeah, fair. Make your power go 3x instantly. I mean, the air conditioner that's running in the background is already doing that quite nicely. I've ran it on solar all day, which is why it's currently running on grid power, because I used all of the solar energy and a bit more than I probably should have. The battery it's fine. It will survive, but it is at 3.24 volts. I normally try and keep it at 3.28 on the low end. That's not under load. I've disconnected everything. So it's just gonna slowly drain over the course of the night. But it should be fine. I've had it a lot lower. And it's got protections and stuff it'll cut out. It's fine. I paid 150 euros worth of electricity last month. I think I only paid like under 100 quid. Ish. Yeah. And that's with my monitors have been on solar basically for the last 5 months, or maybe 4 months actually. But my technically three running systems: my QNAP NAS, my Unraid 24 core Threadripper NAS, and my PC. And then whenever the air conditioning needs running, obviously everything else in the house basically. Yeah. Gotten to the point where I unplugged my boiler to save gas and electricity. Yikes. That's bad. I mean, at least in like this part of the year, the boiler isn't a problem. But yeah, I want to say that my boiler draws like 100 watts when it's running, which is real bad. I also have a warm water leak. Well, that's impressive. um, Probably get that fixed. Yeah. Is it coming from a copper pipe or a plastic pipe? So I don't remember. I don't know. It's creating a lot of mold on my wall. Ah, nice. That's the block. Actually, my friend's just bought a house, and so we're he only got the keys yesterday, was it? Or day before Tuesday, and then he was away. So we're gonna be renovating a house, DIYing the laminate, the painting, the plastering, relocating some light fixtures. We're not redoing the countertops. Well, we are. We've got the. He's storing 3 large slabs of solid oak in my garden, but but yeah, we're paying someone to fit the countertops for us. So yeah, we're doing a fair bit. Housing company said we'll fix it, but we're waiting for 5 months. You'll want to make, like, if you can, make them fix it before winter, because once it gets to winter, problem. My power bill last month was $250 a month. That's running reverse cycle air conditioning, on heating, going at least 14 hours a day, and all my PCs are running. That's really not that bad. Like 250, especially Australian dollars, which, you know, as we know, is the conversion rate ain't great. Not the pounds all that strong, you know. But yeah, that doesn't sound that bad. I'm not gonna run it in the winter. Already have a Ryzen 5 5600 and 6650 XT. Nice. I want to convince him to get a mini split, like, heat pump air conditioning system, or I should say a reversible air conditioning system. So like, heat pumps are just air conditioning systems with the expansion valve flipped the other way around, right? So instead of the air being heated up by the compressor, or compressed and therefore heated, go through the expansion valve, which drops the pressure dramatically, which then makes it really, really cold, sucking all the heat out of the room, and then the, you know, warmish coolant refrigerant goes back into the other side and outside, and then, you know, disperse that heat and then compressed again and then go through the expansion valve, etc. You flip it round so that the hot air, the cold side is on the other side, where it then draws in heat from the outside and expels the hot air inside. That means that you can get essentially free energy in a sense. It's free because it comes from the outside. You're just moving the heat energy around, right? And so you have you draw energy from outside and bring it in the same way that air conditioning draws energy from inside and puts it outside. The free part comes from the fact that the amount of energy that you use to run the compressor is, on a good day, you get 3 times more heating out, right? So you move 3 times more energy than you're putting in, because that's all that energy is coming from outside to then be put inside, which is really, really cool. And it's really good use of energy, right? I think it also makes it price parity with gas right now, which is really cool because especially if you have solar, you can then, you know, twin the two. Although generally, if you need heat pump heating, your solar probably isn't providing enough power to run the heat pump heating. Sadly, but yeah, maybe a wind turbine actually. Oh dear. Is it good? Is it a good idea to buy a 4090 with an AIO? It makes me a bit nervous. So personally, I don't like the idea of using an AIO for your graphics card because they're not standard AIOs. You can't just like buy another one to replace it, and it almost certainly will fail. I would much rather an air cooler or a custom loop water cooling. I wouldn't personally go for an AIO cooled GPU. Yep, sadly no subsidy if your heat pump can reverse for aircon. I wonder if you could put that after the fact. um Simon says I go for an air cooled 4090s if the AIO fails. Bye bye card. Also that, yeah. Like you would hope it would thermal throttle and just shut down, but you'd have to be keeping a very close eye on it. I want to custom loop my rig, but I 100% know water will go everywhere. It's not that bad. I mean, I've hardlined. In fact, I think I've only hardlined and it's all been fine. Yeah, I like compression barb fittings on soft tubing. That's pretty decent. But yeah. Mob says, as someone who runs every option long term, stick with air cooling. Yeah. I think that's it. I don't think I missed any questions this time. But if I did, feel free to post them again. I know this isn't drugs I'm doing. This is an Albus inhaler because I have a cold. What was I gonna say? Oh, as I said earlier, I've been finally putting my open source latency testing tool to the test in videos that aren't just about this. One of them is testing AMD's new anti-lag plus mode, and the other one is testing this, which is the cheapest and Amazon choice recommended mouse that you'll definitely recommend recognize that brand, and it's Gamer Aesthetics, and it's peak quality. Yes, with the sensor here and not like here where it normally is. Is there any RGB? Yes. There's a single RGB LED somewhere in there that kind of sort of shows up through there. That's it. It's not connected, so it's not going to show it right now. But yeah, it's so innovative that it has first of all that sticker, which you know just came out of a sticker book, and second of all, it's so innovative that it comes with an on-off switch with on for RGB and on for not RGB to save some battery. And yes, it takes 2 AA batteries, not 1. Some hope then. RGB everywhere is a bad sign. It's not, well, it's not quite as trash as I thought it would be. But I had really low expectations. It has over double the latency of a Logitech mouse, funnily enough. Um, and yeah, it's something. uh, it's £13.69 from Amazon right now, which is kind of insane for a wireless gaming mouse. See the 14th gen benchmark yet? 14900K is about 10% faster single core, but is about 3% slower multi-core. I haven't. I saw Essentialist posted some like an MSI slideshow that basically said there was no difference. So I haven't seen that specifically yet, but yeah. I feel like spending twice that gets you a name brand reasonable nice though. Yeah, yeah, it's about twice that. I think the next cheapest is the SteelSeries Rival 3 wireless, which is under £30. I just want a G603 inside a G502 is the perfect mouse on one battery for at least 6 months. Fair, yeah. I use 603. Fair. I use Logitech MX Master 3 and Razer Naga Trinity. Although at some point, Nick from Razer is going to send me the new Naga Pro V2. But that's been on hold for a good few months. Wireless tech is so cheap, it's probably cheaper than the Gobber. Maybe, yeah. It is just a single SoC that does it all, so yeah. I had a couple of them go to sleep quick. The G603 is amazing, just the problem is too high for me, so I got a second-hand G502 Lightspeed. Fair. I have big hands, not an issue, bigger mouse the better. Yeah, kind of the same. What's your opinion on the IntelliMouse, by the way? Is that the one with the trackball? If so, I had one. 10 years? No. Shit, I'm old. 15 years ago. They still make them. What, with the trackball? Wow. I use a Rocat Swarm wired. Never heard of them, but solid. Rocat is a decently established brand. I've reviewed some of their stuff before, actually, including their optical keyboard, a couple of years ago. But yeah, no, they're decent enough and fair. Sadly not. Ah, okay. I think I've used some of the non-trackball ones as well, actually. Um, yeah, very classic shape. Probably not that great for gaming. If I had to imagine. Um, there's a new Intel mouse of the Pixar 3389, so it's hyperactive, hyper accurate. I'm hyperactive, hyper accurate. But it's 140 grams. Wow. I mean, this with two AA batteries is 137 grams, and this is pretty heavy. So how an Intel mouse gets to be? Oh god, that's funny. I have too many mice, G502, G9, G700s. Actually, I have a G700 here. 700S? G700S. I use for testing laptops. Which, this is also... Oh no, this is single battery. No worries, John. Catch you next week. It's a brick. Dropping that thing would shake the floor. Indeed. And also, Simon, I do also have a lot of mice upstairs. Mostly lighter weight stuff these days. That's what I tend to say yes to. I used the G503, but I had to put a little bit of cardboard in the battery compartment to stop the lid from moving. Wasn't impressed, but cheap enough for laptop use. Fair. I don't think I've had a G503 wireless in. Yeah. Fair. I always thought the plural of CPU mouse was mouses, but that was back when the internet was still AOL. Ever heard of this? I've heard of AOL, yeah. America Online. Obviously, I was never part of that. One, because I wasn't born when that was a thing. And two, I wasn't in America. My formative internet memories were MSN. That was early for me. I wasn't on MySpace. I was on Bebo for a very short period of time, and I was on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. AOL CD every other day in the post. Fair. That's kind of insane. ICQ for the win. What, are you going to talk about your message boards now? Oh yeah, not sure if I mentioned that content creator. A friend of mine got the ZV E10 you kind of recommended. Was just in time for their Surfshark sponsorships. Nice. Yeah, fair. Nice. I hope they enjoy it. And enjoy the Surfshark sponsorships. I might have been offered one, but nah. You could see them typing and messing it up and deleting it in real time. Nice. Hello, ZK Demand. Nice, thanks. How was your Microsoft adventure? Indeed, Dish. I had something in my head. Now it's gone. Oh yeah. Videos wise, I've got the hopefully the AMD driver video tomorrow. Resolution comparison for 1440p versus 4K. Like what monitor to buy. Video Monday. Probably this on next Friday. And then hopefully an Asus laptop. But they've been promising me various Asus laptops for about 2 weeks, and they still haven't even shipped one. So maybe we'll see. Ah dear. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. And as for the, I don't think anyone here actually bought a latency tool from me, but if any of the other 6 or so people who aren't commenting, but who are watching, have. I'm planning on doing an update, hopefully this weekend, to address a couple of little bugs and tweak a few things. There is still more stuff that I want to do, like features-wise, for sure. But trying to balance my not great physical or mental health with still making a living for myself, making these videos, and then also making the tool and updates and stuff. I bought a like soldering hot plate. I use my hot air gun to build the tools normally, and that's fine, and I certainly can. But it would be nice if I could use a hot plate just to flatten them all down at once. And so I bought one of those. It's on its way, and I'm going to use that hopefully to build the next batch of tools, and then I'll have some actually available to buy. Because Jesus, people want these. A guy emailed me and said, "I want 3. Tell me when they're in." I'm like, okay, fine. Yeah. If you need to rubber duck on code, let me know. Thank you very much. Actually, Tiberius Moon, whatever, on the Discord asked if I could implement ASIO, which is a low latency driver. I tried. There is an package that will let you do that has ASIO, can get the driver, can access and play back through the driver. The only problem is, at least on my system, it wouldn't play back on at least the correct audio device, even their demo plugin. So it's called N Audio. The letter N and then the word audio all in one word. Yeah, that didn't work. Even their demo project wouldn't play back via ASIO. It would play back via like wave out and stuff, but it wouldn't play back via ASIO, which was annoying. So I kind of push that one to the side for now. Technically, I could use DirectX actually, but at least for now. Did Sony get the tool yet? Sony hasn't bought a latency tool. They bought 2 response time tools, or actually possibly 3 response time tools, and they definitely have them already. Apple, I assume, has their one. I haven't. I still haven't emailed them. But yeah. Yes, Apple, I think, has one. Has a response time tool. ASIO makes me want to die. Yeah, me too. Different reasons. So yeah, any help with that would be appreciated, but it's not a super high priority. I've already removed it from the project so that I can move forward and publish it. Ask 7 billion Apple funding. That'd be nice. Yeah. Right, I think I'm going to call that there before the lunacy gets too mad. I hope you all had a fun evening. I'm sure that you already know, but these are every Thursday night at 8 PM UK time. You feel free to pop back. That's also that sounds about right, yeah. Although you'd be bifurcating in any other motherboard anyway, so it still wouldn't really matter much. But yeah, I hope you all have a very good week. Stay safe, have fun. Videos as always, and yeah, we'll see you next week.